Hi, hello, welcome back. This is James Area from UX Shape. Today we're gonna look at the login screen, and this is the third series of our mobile prototyping e-commerce application tutorial. We've done the splash screen. If you see, the splash screen loads, and we have the onboarding screen as well, which we can slide left and right. And when we click Get Started, we move to the login screen. So the next thing we're going to do will be the login screen and the sign up screen. And for every of our audience who have been waiting for this third series, sorry for that this third series is coming a bit late, but we're going to be doing that just now. Now let's go back to our content of how we've been going through. We've done the splash screen, we've done the onboarding, and we're going to focus on the login screen and the sign up screen. So how do we start this login and sign up screen? Let me open a notepad, and then we're going to look at the details of what we're going to have on a login screen. On a login screen, we normally have some fields, which will be, we have the username field, we have the password field, and also which means a user can sign up with email, using email, and if they use their email, they will put their username and password, which is usually their email address and password. And also they can either sign up with Facebook or other social accounts, so something like that. And on a login screen, we usually have a link that will link the user to reset their password in case they forget their password. So we're going to have things like forget password, just like a general kind of a login screen. In this tutorial, I'm still trying to think whether we're going to make use of the pages or we're going to make use of dynamic panel. But as we go along our design approach, we have to make that decision for whether we're going to make use of this dynamic panel in actual, or we're going to make use of pages. I would say that if you've not if you don't work well on dynamic panel and you don't understand it, you need to watch my dynamic panel tutorial, and you can get some idea of how to implement dynamic panel if we're going to be using dynamic panel in this tutorial. However, I'll try and make it as simple as possible so that you can understand it, and the purpose of this tutorial is for us to understand each and everything that I do on the screen. So let's go to Azure, and here we have our screen. We're just going to increase this a little bit so that we have it, we can view it properly. So now what we need to do is we need to create this landing page where user can decide to log in or decide to sign up. And we're gonna make it very simple. What I'm gonna do, I've make this a gray background, and I'm gonna make this, I'm gonna put a rectangle widget here. Let's press Ctrl Z. I'm gonna press rectangle widget here, and let's give this a little bit of and let's remove the border. All right, so we have this, and let's centralize it. Before we align it, we have to click the main window area, which is the main phone area, and then we click the widget inside and we click align center. So we have it. Let's save that. The next thing we need to do, we need to look at, okay, what we need to do, we can either sign up with Facebook or any social account. So we're going to drop a button here, and I'm going to make this button 50 in height, and I'm just going to make this in length. I'm going to make this here. Again, centralize, and we're going to remove the border, and I'm going to give this a shadow, although we can't see the shadow because the background is black, but we're going to change that a little bit. Now let's see if we can give this white. No, I think we're just gonna leave the shadow because we are using black and white anyway. So let's leave the shadow for now, and I'm gonna change this round corner radius to, let's say, 2, so it's not too rounded. What I need to do is to change the font to Maven Pro as we are using that font, and what I need to do is to change this text to connect using Facebook. Or let's say connect with Facebook. Alright, so we have this done, and what we need to do is to make sure that we have a Facebook icon so the user understand that we are connecting with a social media icon. So let's look for Facebook in our font awesome list, and we just put Facebook here. Let's make this 20, or let's make this 24. Yeah, and let's put this here. All right, so actually let's use the other one. Let's use this one. Depending on what we want, let's just make this a little bit. Yep. So we have this connect with your, let's make it more personal, like connect with your Facebook account. Connect with your Facebook account. All right, so we have connect with your Facebook account. Let's just move this a little bit here, and let's make this a little bit okay with this line, and all right, so in fact, let's remove this text from this, and let's just paste it on it so that we can align them properly. We have to group them together and then centralize, align center and align middle so that it looks a bit okay. Let's make this okay. So we've done our connect to Facebook, and we're just gonna move it here. Let's change the corner radius of this to 2 so that we have a little bit of round edge as well. The idea will be to have a little bit of icons here, so we might just have some icons that we can just put here and make it a little bit actually, let's make this background white, and then we can fade this and make sure we have a lot of them just dotted around, different types of icons of what the app is all about. So what we need to do is we just need to duplicate. I'm just pressing Ctrl D to duplicate. So Ctrl D, duplicate, 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 Ctrl D, duplicate. Yeah, so let us highlight everything. We're going to make sure that we just fade it a little bit. The opacity, let's make it 30%, or let's make it 20%. No, we didn't highlight this one, so let's make it 30%. Or let's make, let me see, let's see 50% how it looks like, and let's change the corner radius. Let's see if it change. Let's change it to 2. All right, so we can see now that we have this this background, so it's just gonna look like different types of icons. So if it's an e-commerce application, as we are doing right now, we're gonna have maybe like an icon of a mobile phone, tablet, computer, games, shoes, bags, you know, different types of icons might just be there. So we've done this, and then the next thing we need to do, we need to create another button. So I will just grab this button, or I'll grab another button, and then I'll make it the same size, which is 304, and then I'm gonna make it 50 as well. Then I will say this should be the same corner radius too, no border as well. Font as well will be Maven Pro. We're going to say login, sign up, using email address. Yeah, so we have the sign up using email address and password. Let's just change the text a bit to black, and this text as well to black, and this text as well, let's make it darker black as well. All right, so let's save that. What we need to do next, we need to have a text here that says if the user already have an account, then they should go to the login screen. So we will have here and say already have an account, login. We just change the font to Maven Pro, change the font size to, let's say 14, align center, put it middle, and we're just gonna increase the height a bit so that we can have space. But what we need to do, we need to make this link to an home screen, a login page. So what we need to do, we need to click here which says insert link text, and we're going to link it to a page. But before we do that, we need to create a page here, which is the login screen. So let's say login screen. And what we need to do, we need to put this here. So login screen. So the next thing we need to do is let's link the login link to here. However, what I would suggest is sometimes your user may just want to click the whole area and you still expect them to go to the login page. So for simplicity's sake and for easy usability, because you don't want user with big finger to start looking for the login link, especially where it is. So you just want to put the link on the text really. So we just need to use the event, on click event, and say open link, and then select login and OK, so that once the user click on this text, they go to login regardless of whether they click on this one or not. So we can just make this a little bit distinct, which means we can we can leave it like this. We can make this on bold, so they know that okay, this is bold, and then this is what they need to click. And I think if we look at our login page now, everything is correct. So what we can do next, we can say, oh, for terms and conditions, simplicity's sake, we can just have a text here and remove this other one. What we can say, by signing up to our actual shop, you are agreeing to our terms and conditions. So you just showing the user that once they click on that sign up link, they are agreeing to these terms and conditions. Then we can align it center and align it middle as well, and we can change the font size to font text to Maven Pro, and we can leave this at font 12 so that it's just like this here. So what we need to do, we need to highlight what each of these widget, we need to highlight them, and we need to make sure that we, first of all, what we need to do, we need to highlight all this area. You can use your mouse and drag. Once you use your mouse and drag, you can press on shift and click on the main phone area so that you only have this section that you've highlighted selected, and we can say group. Once we say group, that's it. Then what we need to do is we need to highlight the main phone area, highlight each of these icon, or we need to highlight each of this icon first. You might have to really practice in terms of highlighting each of these widgets so that you know how to align your widget properly. So we need to make the center, and we need to distribute this horizontally. Yeah, and that is it. So I think we kind of have what we have. So what we need to, we can even group this together because of simplicity's sake. So we can group, no, we can group this together, make this align. Yeah, then group this together so that once we make this, we can make sure that it is aligned properly, center. And that's it. So what we have now, we have our login, we have our landing page, which when the user downloads our app, they'll go through the splash screen. Once they go through the splash screen, it loads for a few seconds, as we've seen page load, wait 2000 milliseconds, then open the onboard screen, and then we land on the onboarding screen. The user can interact with this onboarding screen, sliding left and right as they wish. And once they click get started, they move on to the login landing page, which the user can also interact with, which is very easy. So what we need to, we might let's cancel this, let's ungroup this, and let's just make only this bold. All right, so now we are on the landing page of the login and sign up, which means the user can sign up either with a Facebook account, or they can sign up using email address. So we can even make this funny, let's say using complicated email address, so that you're telling the user it's very fast for you to actually log into our app using your Facebook account than trying to log in using your email address. Or they can log in, and we've added our interaction here. We say on click event, and then open, on click, let's cancel this, on click event, open in current window our login screen. So we have that, and we have this terms and condition that the user are agreeing to once they click on either the login or the sign up button. Now what we need to do now, we need to create the login, because what we've done here is for them to sign up, and also we need to create a screen whereby if they click on this sign up using complicated email address, they will be able to sign up using their email address. So we need to design two things. We need to design first the login screen, which we've created a page here, and also we need to design the sign up screen. So, and also we might have to design the Facebook account as well, how it looks like, but that will be in the next tutorial, so that we need to get something from Facebook to do that. So let's look at the login screen. First of all, let's go back to our phone area, copy this phone area, and let's paste it here. Let's look at the page style. We have CC here, and we're just gonna go here and say CC as well. So let's make this 150 so we can see it properly. Now we have the login landing and done. So we need to move on to the login page, and what we need login, this is actually sign up using email address. Now this is going to be login screen, so we're going to move to login screen first. Sorry about that. Let's do the login first. So what we need to do, we can still replicate some of what we have here, but what I want to do is I want to make this page look very simple. So we could potentially get this information, and or we just leave it. We can get a text box. Let's get a text box first. Let's make this text box 50, or let's make it 45, and let's make it 304. We can just duplicate this, and we can make this another text for the password, and we can have our button, which is, we can make this 50, and we can make this the same size as them. You can see once you drag them, this blue line, make sure that you actually don't pass the main widget that you have on the screen, the width. So make sure that you can just simply change it, or if you want to find the width of it, you go here and check this W, which is for the width, and then you can just use the same size for it. We need to change the corner radius to 2, and we need to remove the border as well, and we need to make sure we change the text to Maven Pro, and we can just change this to login securely, so that we are telling the user that once they log into our account, they are logging in securely. So what we might want to do is to make this background white, and we might have to make this dark black, and we make this white, and we might want to have shadow here, and we might have to change the X to 0 and the Y to 3 and this blurriness to 0, so it looks a bit okay. And we might have to make sure this is black as well. So let's change this to either 14, or we can make it, let's leave it at 14, or let's leave it at 13, whichever the case may be, depending on the font you want to use. So what we need to do next, we need to have a link here again, which says don't have an account, which means that when the user don't have an account, they click here and then they go back to the landing page so that they can sign up before they log in. Don't have an account, sign up. So again, change the font type, Maven Pro text to 14, and maybe increase it a little bit, align center, align middle, and we need to make sure this is not bold, So we have it like this. And then what we need to do now, we need to put this, we need to change the text field here. Name, we need to give it username txt. The reason why we are doing this is because when we make an authentication in the next tutorial, we're going to have an authentication so that user can validate whether username and password are valid. And so we have password txt, and we just have a button login btn. The basic idea of every every wireframe and prototype is that every widget must be named, so that when you're making use of dynamic panel and interaction, you want to know exactly what dynamic panel or widget you are interacting with. What we need to do next, we need to probably hide no, not that one. We need to go to properties and say hide border. We can see we've hidden the border, but how do we actually know that something is there? So what we need to do is we need to get this horizontal line, and we might need to put it somewhere here. We duplicate this by pressing Ctrl D and put one here as well. The reason why we are doing this is because we're going to make sure that this is not seen by the user. So we click both of them, and we can just first we can click the first one, have a text int, and say username, press enter. For the password, we need to look at this text field type and change it to password, and then use the password and say password. Once we've done that, we need to make sure that we change the text int style. Go to text int style, we change the base, default font, typeface, regular, then we say we're going to bold this. We're going to say the font color will be a little bit lighter, so we might say this, and we might make sure that this is a little bit, let's say about 14, and we can say okay. Or what we can do, we can make it 13. Let's make the font size 13 as it is. So yeah. Then what we need to do next, we need to highlight both of them again, and we need to hide the border. Now once we've hide the border, we've make sure that the user is gonna look as if that they are typing on this horizontal line, but obviously no, they are typing inside the text box, but we've hidden the border so the user cannot see the border. And that is a good design standard, because you don't want your interface to look dated like bricks and everything. You want it to look current as possible. So what we need to do, we need to probably group this horizontal line and the text box. We need to group them together, and then we need to select as well the horizontal line and the text box and group them as well. But what we need to do now, we need to make sure that the horizontal line, the color is a little bit faded as well, so we can say this is this, and this is this as well. So we have that. So what we might have to do is, okay, how do we make sure that we know that this is a login page? We can have a rectangle widget here. Just make this page a little bit nicer, nice looking, and we can highlight the main box, then highlight the center. Make this corner radius 2. We save that. The next thing we need to do is we need to go and make sure that we have a little bit of this. Let's make this light a bit. Yeah, which is okay. We can give it a shadow if we want to. We can say shadow shadow, and we might want to even make the background looks a bit darker. Yep. Like we have anything we want to do on this, we can practically do them. So we can have an image here just to show that, okay, maybe our product or services or icon of a login icon or something like that. We can have it here. We can make sure we just have something like this, and we can have the corner radius to 2, and we can group this. Once we group this, we can have a text here which is white, and we can say login. Change this font typeface to Maven Pro. Change this to 18 or 16 thereabout, and then we can have this. Align them together and make sure that we have this. What we can do, we could probably make sure this is a little bit to the edge a bit, and then I like the main phone area. I like the widget inside, center, and what we need to do is we need to highlight the one here as well, and highlight here, and then we go. So you will really definitely need to work on the alignment, on where you have to click and things like that, so that you really understand how this thing works, so you won't have problem with them. We might have to remove this border here. So now we can see that we have our login screen almost complete. So what we need to do, let us make sure that we just make this a little bit so we have this border here. So what we need to do, we need to make sure that we have this border. Let's highlight them together, and let's make sure that we have them. So we save that, and then we move on with a little bit of alignment. Let's move this a little bit down. We've grouped this, so what we need to do, we need to highlight the first one, the first group section, and then the third one, and then we need to distribute vertically, center. So we have our login screen, and you can design this banner, this header, the way you please. Actually, anyway, it doesn't really matter, so you can have that flexibility. So we have this login screen now. So what we need to do, we need to save, and let's preview. We've already opened it, we just need to refresh it, although it's not going to show, but we can see here that this has displayed in the login that we've created. So let's go back from the splash screen, onboarding, left, right, get started, and when we click login, we go to login. But remember, this page is not showing because we are testing it on a local host, so this page is not really showing. So what we need to do is we need to preview it from actual clicking on this preview button. Mine shows Internet Explorer, so I'm just going to copy this link and close it, and then go back to Chrome. I'm going to open a new tab and close this tab and paste that link here, and then we can start from the beginning. My actual shop, onboarding, state 1, state 2, state 3, state 4, state 3, state 2, state 1. Love what you see. Yes, get started. We land on the login screen, connect with Facebook account, or sign up using complicated email address, already have an account, we can click login and we can see our username. Once we start typing, the int text is disappeared. Once we don't type anything, the int text comes back again. And for the password field, we have the 000. Another thing again we are looking at that it is always a good practice now to do is to have in your username field is to have ability to show your password so that user can actually see the password. So we can get this widget here from Font Awesome, and we can make this 14 or we can make this 18, and then we can just make this yeah, we can put it here and make sure we have a little bit of dark, just a little bit of gray. We can save this. If we preview it, if we refresh the page again, we can see we have this. The idea is when the user click on this "hi" to open it, then there's the password will be visible. But that's another level of tutorial that we're going to implement later. We're not going to implement it on the scope of this tutorial of this mobile app prototyping for the e-commerce app. So we have our login screen now, and I just think we might need to do something else. I don't like this this box here. Let's go back to our actual, and actually let's just click on it and let's remove the, let's make it 0. Okay, let's remove the shadow, yeah, and let's just make sure that we have it filled up 360, and we have this, yep, there. So it's a bit okay. So what next to do? We have the username, we have the password, we have the login screen, and we've done the sign up, which is login, complicated email. Yeah, another thing I remember is that we have this page here, but we might have to maybe, okay, connect with Facebook or sign up with someone. But we need to make sure that it is a decision that they need to make. So let's just make sure that we have a session here. We're just going to make this or this box, and you type or inside it by double clicking it. And we're going to remove the border, and we're going to, yeah, make sure this is Maven Pro as well. We're going to make this corner radius 2, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to drag a horizontal line, and I'm going to make this horizontal line white. I'm going to duplicate this horizontal line, and I'm going to make it white as well. So we might just have to make sure that this is a little bit long. So let's move this. The idea is we're trying to make sure that the user is making a decision. So we're going to have here a decision, or so that the user know, okay, I can either sign up with this or that. Distribute horizontally, align middle, and then we group it. Once we group that, we can just align the rest and make sure that everything is properly aligned. So we can reduce this and make sure we have this, and distribute, align center, group them together, and then we can make sure that we just have this one, which is let's put this a little bit down here, and let's make sure this is, yeah, okay. So we have this, we have this, we have this, and we have this. So we're just gonna distribute vertically, and then, yeah. So if we go back and refresh our page now, so we can see, yeah, connect with Facebook account, or sign up using complicated email address, or already have an account login. If we click on login, it goes to the login page. Don't have an account, we need to add a link as well, so that when user click the text, they go back to the login, to the landing login screen. So we go to the login here and put a widget, an interaction here which says click here and go back to login. So let's refresh it and let's test it. Don't have an account, yes. Go back to login with this as well and login with it. So what we need to do next, we need to create the page whereby a user will be able to connect, sign up with username and with their email address, because we've not had any interaction on this button yet. So we go back to Axure and we can create another page. But what I will do to make our job faster, you can always create a page, because if you want to make your prototype consistent as well, we need to use this functionality within Axure. So we say duplicate page. I'll just make sure that this is 150, and then I'll click it once, and then I'll be able to say sign up using email address. So now what we need to do is, we don't need to do much thing, we just need to change this button here by clicking it and saying create account. All right, and then to make our sign up faster, what we might need to do, let's move this text a bit away from here and let's ungroup this first. Let's move this button down, and we might need to confirm their password, because we want to make sure that the password they enter, it's okay. We just double click, we just click on the password, Control D, duplicate it, and then we can change the int by clicking on the text, going to properties and say here confirm, and we just change it to small letter password, so that we're keeping the consistency of our design. Then the next thing we might need to do, we might need to change this text here which says sign up. I just say sign up. Depending on your own requirement, you might want to put another text there, but I'll just leave it sign up, and that's it really. So sign up, we have username, we have password, and we have confirm password, and we just have that icon here. We have our button here which says get started. Then what we need to do now, because we are on a sign up page, we're not going to have don't have an account, we're going to already have an account. So we're going to say already have an account, then login. So say log in. Now we have this login, or we can even use capital letter and say login. All right, so once we've done that, we might have to change the link as well again. To change the link faster, we don't need to go through the process of this page. We just need to click here, it's gonna open it, and we can look for the login screen. Already have an account, login, yes, and we say login, and then we say create account. Then there will be an interaction that we're going to do to make sure that account is being created and things like that. So what we have now is we have this username, password, and confirm password. We might have to make sure that this is aligned properly, and we group this, and then we make sure this is okay with this as well, and we group this. To move this up, we just move this a bit up here, and we have this login, already have an account login link. So let's just make sure we align things properly, center, distribute, and that's fine. Perfect. Another thing we might want to do here that is very important in our sitemap area, we need to make sure we indent our pages. So we have the startup, which is the splash screen, which is the first screen that the user is going to see when they start the mobile app, and we're going to have our onboarding. Followed by the onboarding, we have the login. So we might just have to indent this so that we know that this login and sign up screen follows the onboarding screen. And we have login screen indent as well. I'm just going to move this and make sure, yeah, it's below it. And then we're going to make sure that this as well is below. No, actually this is standing on its own. Yeah, so which is perfect. We've saved that. What we need to do next is we need to preview it. If it's showing on Internet Explorer, or if you like Internet Explorer, you can preview on Internet Explorer, but for me, I prefer Chrome. I'll just copy the link and go back to Chrome, paste it, and open new tab, paste it, and we have all our pages. So oh dear, what have we done? All right, we need to align here properly. Make sure this is okay. We might have to group actually we don't need this inside the sign up, so we just have to click this and make sure we have that. All right, we might have to, okay, this is a little bit thinner, I don't know why. Let's all right, so what we need to do, we need to make sure that this button is well lighted. There's no, let's just tidy things up. Let's go back to the first page, our actual shop, our onboarding, our login and sign up, our login page, our sign up using email, and let's text this thing. Once we test it, we go to splash screen, and we can move left, right. Love what you see, get started, login, don't have an account, sign up, already have an account, login, don't have an account, sign up. So we might have to change the text of that sign up to capital letter so we are consistent. Sign up. What we need to do, we need to add a link here to this sign up using email address. Same thing, onboarding, on click event, open link, and we say sign up using email address, and we need to give it a name as well so that we don't forget. Sign up email at tst. This will be connect with Facebook txt, and yep, that is it. So we might have to reduce this a little bit and say, let's make this 12, or let's make it 10, and then let's make this a little bit smaller, 28. Ungroup, and let's ungroup this, align horizontally, vertically, and then make sure this is good. All right, so we have this now, and we're just gonna make sure that this is done properly. Group this together. So that is it. Let's make sure everything is sorted out, and we have this login. Now once the user click on login, we're going to go to the home screen, and in our next tutorial we're going to be looking at the home screen, how user can go through the home screen. So the next tutorial we're going to look at is the home screen of our e-commerce application. This is where user will now see the product that we have on offer, and what they can buy, and and everything like that, and they can interact with the application as well. So let's just make sure that we've completed the series, which is the login and sign up screen. We have the login here, we've connected this, we've done this with Facebook and everything, so we might just have to do that as well. Another thing that we've not done the login with Facebook page, so we might just quickly have to do something with the login with Facebook page. But there are different ways of doing login with Facebook page which we really need to consider before we do anything at all. So to do our login with Facebook page, we need to really consider so many things. So what we need to do now is let's look for our login with Facebook page as well, and say, okay, login with Facebook page, how do we want that page to be created? And on our login screen, we can make it more, we can improve on the design and say, okay, let's make this ungroup this, and let's ungroup this, and then put this here. Let's make this here, and let's say actual shop, and we're going to make this, yep, and let's have a text here which says let's change this text to white, and let's double click, and then let's remove some of the text. So we have this. So you might say, oh, for our actual shop is super interesting, you can find bargain and things like that. So depending on what we want to have here, we can have it here. Let's just make sure we have this here as well, so that's yeah. All right, so we can group this together. Now what we might want to do, we might want to, okay, how do user navigate back to the previous screen? So if they mistakenly go from here, so from this section we'll be able to have a navigation. No, we can't have navigation from the landing to onboarding screen, so we don't need that anymore. What we need navigation from is from the login screen. We need navigation back to the login and sign up. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that this is actually okay. We might have to make another kind of interesting idea, so we can use a close icon. So we can say, looking for star, yeah, let's put a star somewhere here. Let's change this to white, let's change this to 24, let's change it to 20. Once we have this to 20, then we'll be able to say, okay, this is what we can realistically do with it. So we have this text now, and how do we actually want to make sure that this page serves us well? The next thing we need to look at is we need to make sure this goes back to that page. So we need to have the name for it, close txt, close icon icn. Let's use that for icon, and then let's say login. We go back to login and sign up. All right, so that's it. So go to login and sign up, and we can change this to maybe 18. All right, so what we need to do is we need to make sure that this is highlighted properly, and we have this, which is this. then we can make this center here, and once the user click here, they go back to the account. Let's test it out, how it looks like. We go to sign up and we go to login with username and password. Once we click here, we go back here, login, we go back here. We might have to adjust this a little bit. I think they are too close to the edge. I don't think we've aligned them center. Yep, that's better. We just need to make sure that we're doing the right thing. Yep, so we have our actual shop. This is what we do, and we have a little bit of icon here which might show maybe basket or something, and then we can close this and say, okay, go back to where you're coming from, and we can have this little section here, which is okay. So what we need to do now, we need to do the Facebook login page. Now, because we are prototyping, logging in with Facebook, we're going to have to make sure that it is we are not going to design too many things in terms of logging in with Facebook because Facebook will technically handle that section for us. But I'll show you how we can actually do the login with Facebook to show as a demonstration, which is going to make it make our life easier once we are doing the login with Facebook page thing. So what we need to do next, we need to make sure that we have a login with Facebook already set up, and then we can make sure that we have this thing done. So we say login with Facebook, and once we log in with Facebook, if we click login with Facebook, we expect to see a login with Facebook link as well. But in the next tutorial, I think we're gonna do the login with Facebook page. Let's just test this, and let's see from the splash screen to the onboarding to the login and sign up, then login and login with Facebook, login with username. So let's see if our interaction is complete. We've done the login sign up using complicated email address. It goes here. We need to add that section of this icon. We need to add it in that sign up as well. So what we need to, we just need to copy all this, highlight them, copy it. No, not cut, copy. Let's go to sign up here, on group, delete and paste here. And this is we can say, we can put a text here which says sign up. We can say sign up here. We might have to adjust this a bit and make sure this is like that. We need to copy this and put this here as well and say login. Let's use capital letter. Sign up, and let's use capital letter. Let's make sure this is distributed vertically as well, and we have that information here. So let's test this and let's refresh this page. Start from the beginning. Onboarding, get started, login using complicated email, good. Go back, it's gonna go back here, login using, and then go back, login here, then go back and sign up, go back. So we've done everything we need to do. Now what we need to do, we say don't have an account, but we've forgotten one thing. We say assuming the user forget the password, where do we want the user to go? So we need to create that page as well again, which says forgot password. So on that login, just select login page and then create new page under login and say forgot password. The reason why we are using this forgot password is we want to make sure that, okay, user can now retrieve their information using this page, and we want to keep consistency throughout. So what we need to do, we need to highlight everything here, copy it, and go to password and paste. And then we need to make sure this is 50, page alignment, and then change this to CC. Yep, and we have our page. What we need to do, we need to make sure this is saying forgot. Yeah, I think we might have to use lowercase login and sign up. Yeah, so it looks better, because this forgot password will be too much having it in capital letters. So we have this forgot password. Now forgot password, we don't need the username because obviously the user does not remember their password anymore. So what we need to retrieve their password. So we need the user to enter their username, and then we need to say retrieve my password. Once we say retrieve my password, we can move here and then say have you remembered your login? Have you remembered your login detail? Have you remembered your login? Then login now, login. So this login is not going to go to sign up anymore. It's going to go to the login page. So we're going to change this to login, and we have this, and they still remain consistent going back to the next page. What this will go to, we go back to the login page, because the user is coming from there. And once they are in the sign up, it goes back to login and sign up. Once they are in login, it goes back to login. So we can see that our account is our page is consistent, and we can actually see how everything looks nicely designed. So what we need to do next, we need to look at it and say, okay, once the user click on the login and sign up, how do we want that interaction to look like? And if the user click login, what do we want to display? We want to display some kind of interaction like we have in the splash screen to show that the page is loading, or we are waiting for your account to load. So what we need to do, we need to create something really interesting. So we might have to do a bit of interaction. In the next tutorial, we're going to look at the interaction to improve based on this login screen. Finally, before we end this tutorial, let's test our prototype. Let's preview it again, because we've added another page, and let's copy that page, go to Chrome, open new tab, and then press it. So let's start from the beginning. Now our mobile app prototype for our e-commerce shop is getting shape from the beginning to the end. So we have the splash screen, my actual shop, and we have the onboarding screen, which is the stage 1 and stage 2. We can log in, and then we can log in with our Facebook account, or we can log in using sign up using complicated email address, or we can log in if we already have an account. So if we say sign up, it goes to our sign up page, which we see on our sitemap. If we say, oh, we already have an account, we say login, we go to login page, which we see on our sitemap. If so we don't have an account at all, we can say sign up, and then it takes us back to the sign up page, and we decide how we want to sign up. So if we click here on login here, we go back to login, and from here we can say we need to have don't have an account, but we've not been able to put a text here, so we need to have that text here which says forgot your password, and then we can move on to the forgot your password page. So what I will just do, I'll just copy this text and just very close to the sign up, I'll say forgot password. I'll remove this and I'll just put this here, and then I'll put this here. I'll have to make this, bring this down a bit, and then I can make this we can group this together and then make this group this, go back here and group this and then align. Yep. Alright, so the forgot account will go to forgot password, and let's just go back to here and let's see if everything is okay. So we're just going to make sure that this is aligned properly, and all right, so let's test our prototype again. We have my actual shop loading, and we have get started, and then we have our login. If you already have an account, if we forgot our password, we go to password. We can go back. If we forget a password, we can log in from here as well. Go to login. If we don't have a login account, we can log in. So our user journey and our interaction and flows is really standard. So the next tutorial we're going to focus on, more advanced interaction with this login and sign up screen, and also how we can sign up using Facebook account. We're just gonna have a kind of a demo of it. We're not actually gonna log in with a real account, but we're gonna design a login to Facebook account page, so that at least when you give this prototype to a developer, the developer will understand that, oh, you want this type of design when you want to make your login with Facebook. Although Facebook is going to provide you with this information, but at the end of the day, you can still customize it if you want. So thank you for watching. This tutorial is very long. I hope you've been able to enjoy it, and I hope you've been able to follow it. If you have any question at all regarding this tutorial, how I've done something, if I'm too fast or too slow, you need to give me a comment so that I can improve on the next tutorial, and I'll be glad to do that. Once again, thank you for watching. This is James Surreal from UX Shape, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. The next tutorial, as I say, we're going to be working on the interaction again, and we're going to be working on the home screen of our e-commerce mobile app application. Thank you once again for watching. Have a good day. See you next